Hello and welcome. This is Diana and you are watching Holistic Vibes. This is going to be probably like a weekly message. We'll just see what comes out, what you need to run with, and just keep an eye out. And it looks like everything's great, right? You might feel like you're on an impasse. Possibly in a relationship or in like your current reality, just kind of getting into a state where you're working with the energy, working for a state of working in a state of harmony, no longer fighting, holding on to, like allowing yourself the space to like find your own courage. In no longer living in like the mind's eye, no longer living in a state of uncertainty. It's kind of like the last reintegration of like the things that have been keeping you stuck. It's like once that stuff is fully dissolved, it's kind of like you take off this bridle, I don't know, a bridle of like false reality of like what someone else, it was kind of like someone else pushed their misconceptions onto you, and that became like the way you were operating like in relationships, right? And again, it could be you, it could be the other person, it could be kind of like you're fighting. What was that? Oh, they just said for me to like split it, and so some of it you're not going to see when the message comes, but it's due to a tower and somebody is the loss of finances and needing to go through a rebirthing state. And this could have been what caused the renewal within self, right? So into a state of being where like you are a magnetic vibration, right? Like so that you're aligning with not just like a higher level counterpart, but like a soulmate, like somebody who complements your soul. And gone are the days where you're allowing people to be like tactful or rude or sharp, right? Like that's not I'm getting like that was a misconception of what love looked like in your karmic state of being. And so like you came into a realization of like maybe through tragedy, right? Maybe through limitations, maybe through lack, maybe through struggle, maybe through victimization, maybe through a state of helplessness, right? Like you have to peel the layer like to then step into the strength and the success and the business acumen. Like you got to lay those foundations, those building blocks, like to actually get into a state where then what you're creating is unfolding the way that you've intended it to unfold, right? And so maybe you feel like you're at an impasse of like the plan's not going the way they should have gone, right? And don't should all over yourself. Like instead, get into a state of being where you are leaning into the courage, leaning into the grace, leaning into the gratitude, leaning into the creation of like the balance, the peace, the harmony. Even if it looks like all chaos is breaking around you, like how do you pause and keep moving forward, right? How do you pause and listen? How do you get into a state of contemplation where you are saying, you know what? That was my old life. It needed to go. It needed to go. I needed to get into a state of forgiveness. And this is the way I want to proceed as I move forward out of this empathic way of being, right? No longer being attached to the results of what unfolded in previous time, previous day, however that looks like for you, right? Highest timeline. Thank you. Yeah, it's literally like whatever it is, it's like you unbinding chains through being in a state of like growth, and it's going to surprise you, right? They're also showing me like this is like a binding, like getting into a state of a natural state of caring, a natural state of surrender. It's kind of like you flow in neutrality, and when you do that through meditation, through creation work, through like getting into the possibility of like future, right? It's literally opening up these gateways to where you want to unfold in a state of calmness, in a state of confidence, right? But there is something in the solar plex that needs to be identified and unblocked. And so you need to do inner work to allow that to unfold the way it needs to. I don't know, but that's like what they're saying. Then the rewards will flow. It's unexpectedly. It's like you have to make this pivot, make this shift. Through contemplation, through renewal, through the meditation, and it's going to allow, it's almost like they're going to give you the next blocks in the building foundation. So I'm going to leave that there. If something in this resonated with you, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until next time, if you would like a reading, I do have some available slots. You're welcome to fill out the information below, and be well. Until next time, ciao.